Welcome to My Skeptical Sister. I'm Erin the Believer.
I'm Megan the Skeptical One.
And we're back for another week.
And both sober.
To start.
To start at least. I even wanted to have a glass of wine at dinner.
I know, me too.
Spaghetti. And I was like, ooh, a glass of red wine would go great with this.
Yeah.
So instead, I was like, I'll just carb load for later. like a runner, like a marathon. I'm like, no, I'm going to be drinking later on tonight. So I better, just have a good base because we might be back to our 2-drink minimum.
We are. I'm so sorry. Everyone who got through last week's episode, you have no idea the trials that I've paid for it.
Yes, you're editing. I know. I think it turned out fine. I don't think that anybody, I don't think that.
I can't ever listen to that episode ever again. I can't. I listened to it 1,500 times. Well, also, I was trying to edit on the iPad because I think that does help. But something weird happened last week, and it kept taking little spots and putting them in random new little spots. So, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare.
It was just so much editing because we went on and on and on.
We did.
There's actually a whole little segment about masturbation that Erin...
And by little, she does not mean little.
We went on for a long time. And it's quite hilarious. I was kind of sad that it got cut, but at the same time, I was like, I am kind of looking for a job at some point. So we might as well just, keep it clean for at least a little bit till I get that job.
I know. Well, then we started teasing because the night that came out, we were doing our very first movie night with our Patreons. It was so fun. And we brought that up and they were like, we want to hear it. I was like, okay, that'll be a weird Patreon perk.
Yeah, you'll get to hear the masturbation.
Any level. If you're a $3 level, I don't care. I'm going to send it to you. That is hilarious.
Oh, it was really, really funny. But
I don't know when I'm going to get to it because, like I said, I never want to hear it again. But but I will try.
On down the road. But yeah, speaking of our Patreon night, I had so much fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah, we watched a horrible movie.
Yes.
That, I thought it was horrible.
House of the Witch.
House of the Witch on Netflix. I would not recommend it unless you're watching with Erin, who scares easily because she kept saying, this movie is good. I was like,
no, I didn't ever say it was good. I said, this movie is scary. There are parts that were scaring me.
Oh, not me at all. And the acting was so
bad.
Yeah,
the acting was real bad.
But the fun of it was the bad acting and just laughing at you. I was able to jump scare a couple of times. And,
one of them,
Rochelle
was like,
are you jump scaring her? I was like, oh yeah, I am.
It was hilarious. We had a blast. And then we had so much fun. We didn't want it to end. So we just turned their microphones on. So full disclosure, so you guys know if you're thinking about it, because I think I described it as the way that I have, been a part of it as a Patreon from another podcast, but I think it needs more clarification. So when the movie is playing, it's just Megan and I talking out loud. Like you all can hear us, and then you can write on a message board. And, we can react in real time. And it was hilarious. I mean, it felt like they were right there with us.
Yeah. Well, because they're watching the movie too. It's right. We all sync up the movie. We're like ready, set, play. And then we, and everybody watches the movie on their own, streaming device or whatever it's called.
Yeah. We watched it on Netflix this last time. So, and we're trying to stick to the more popular ones so people can have access to it without having to rent anything. But,
right.
So we did that. And then at the end of it, we had so much fun. I took off those little settings where they can't talk. I mean, it was only a few of us this last time, so I probably could have done that throughout, but, hopefully we'll grow and more people will want to be there. Mm-hmm. So we can't have 10 people talking at once. So
yeah, if that's the case, we just won't watch a movie and we'll just sit around and talk.
Right. So we ended up talking for at least an hour afterwards. And
poor Paula was like, I was so tired by the end. She didn't say that night. I want to be like, oh girl, you could have at any point. This wasn't like you had to stay. You could definitely be like, I'm tapping out, guys. You all know, because it just became like drunken banter between all four of us. But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes, so next month, and it's growing because
that night we got 4 new patrons.
Yes, thank you to our already existing Paula and Rochelle Patreons that came to the movie that night or streamed the movie. I don't know, it's such a bizarre thing to me. Joined us for the movie that night because then they kind of publicized it a little bit, and I think that harangued every time harangued some other listeners in for us. And
I know.
So,
and poor Stephanie fell asleep.
Yeah,
she said she's going to do it next time.
We missed you, Stephanie, and Candace. She was like my family right now. She just couldn't. So
I know. She came in for a second. I was like, Candace, and then she was gone.
Yeah, I think I get that life can get chaotic. So we will. It'll all work out eventually. Everybody that is a part of it will get to join in. And if you're not and you'd like to, then come on in.
Yeah.
Where do they go to join if they want to join?
If they want to join, they can find us on Patreon. Just search My Skeptical Sister, and I'll put it in the show notes too, a little link.
Okay, so for those of our listeners that are, I'm not going to say old, but just not as tech savvy as the rest of you youngins, Patreon is an app. It's
it's an app.
Website. It's a what?
It's both. It's an app or a website that you can go and you can find a lot of your, entertainment
but
that you
guys
like.
Don't go.
But don't go for them.
Ones. Just go for us. Right. We're sitting there for us. Not you're like, oh, look at all these other options. These sound way better than My Skeptical Sister.
Oh no. And you can go and just support us a little bit financially so that we can, maybe do more live shows, or we can start building our little
maybe
podcast.
Our mics, which I think we are getting better with our sound, but
we could have two, maybe.
Yeah, 2 microphones, maybe.
We could pay for a service that's not free to stream and maybe helps me with editing a bit.
Definitely. So there are things that we would like to purchase for the podcast as well.
Yeah, and let's not forget our crab dinner.
We forgot it. I would never forgot it. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be priority number 1. Then all the high-tech podcasting stuff will come into play.
We need to get big enough that we can just mention River House and they'll just let us go.
And then all the money. If anybody knows of anybody that works at River House, that's where our crab dinner
we want that tower.
Yes, that big seafood tower. We'll post a picture of that.
Yeah, if you all oh my gosh, if you like seafood,
come with us. But you get to buy because it's expensive.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not cheap. But River House, we will, promote you.
Sweet James, I think, took me there for my birthday last year, intending on getting that. Like he knew, he was like, I think that was the lure. And then we get there and he's like, oh my gosh, the prices. He's like, that does look beautiful, honey, but how about this instead? I'm like, yeah, I'm with you.
Right.
We're not gonna spend our own money on that. But your money, people, fans, we will totally spend on that. We'll take pictures of us eating it.
Oh my gosh. You can't say that. It's true, but you can't say it.
I see it every episode.
I know. You know what we want.
By now, right. And I feel like they love us enough that they want to support our dream of a crab dinner at River House.
You all would understand. If you're not even local, or if you are, go Google River House Seafood Tower, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna want to send
unless you hate seafood. In that case, then don't participate. I guess I don't know. Just know that it's our dream,
right?
And so even if you don't love our dream, you can still help us out.
Right. So that's the $5 tier gets you the movie, and the $3 tier gets you the sticker.
Yes.
The $5 also gets you a sticker, but
and the masturbation story.
Oh, that's right.
Don't forget that.
All the tiers are going to get that at some point. And there probably will be tiers.
Watch, everybody will sign up. Like, I want to hear what they're talking about masturbation.
No, they don't. Oh, it's so awkward. It's weird.
It's hilarious. Okay, well, how was your week? Anything new?
It was Derby.
Yes, Derby was great.
Yeah,
we kind of kept it, family and just Amanda, your pod teacher.
She
joined in, and so it was just a small, because usually we do a really big Derby party, but COVID times, we still scaled it way back from our typical Derby party, but and all the adults were vaccinated.
Yeah, that was really fun to just know we were like,
fine. We can all breathe and
literally.
Yeah, literally breathe and be like, sorry, kids. Hope you all don't get
good
it. Luck. But you apparently are going to be fine through this now. But no, it was a lot of fun. We kids were running everywhere, and that's always just a blast. I always think like back to when I was a kid and those memories of just running rampant at a party and just having so much fun, and adults like around talking. You can like pop into their conversations from time to time.
Right.
And, so I just loved it. Our nieces were all hanging out, and it was fun.
It was a blast. I won the Derby. It was our family pot, so I got about $20, but
but then the big family pot, Carlos, our brother-in-law, got $100.
Yeah,
that was great. And then our late arrival friend Chad, he did come kind of after everybody had left, and he shows up and he won the trifecta
at the
actual
track.
Derby. Yeah, at the track. $2,500.
That is amazing.
And still came and drank my beer. I was like, wait a second. How do you show up at a party and you're like, I won $2,500, and you're like, give me a beer? That's not how that works. So I forgot to mention that night because I'm a good host. But now that I look back on it,
yeah, we know you're listening, Chad.
Come on now, you get the 6-pack next time.
You get our crab dinner.
Yeah, we should have mentioned it that night. Really, we're just trying to get you all off the hook of having to buy dinner. Somebody. River House again, sponsor us.
Yeah.
Chad.
All right, that's your last mention. our house until you get us dinner.
Right. Nobody look up their website until we get sponsored by them. That's how it works.
Unless seeing the tower will motivate you.
Whatever. Yeah, one way or the other. Either don't go there, everybody boycott it until
don't do that.
Until they sponsor us. Go look, get motivated, but boycott them.
Oh my gosh. We are kidding. Please don't sue us.
I mean,
no, we're kidding.
Okay,
don't sue us.
We are
oh
kidding.
my gosh.
It's a joke. But come on, River House. You could end this really easily by just sponsoring us.
Now you're like blackmailing them.
Whatever works.
I think that's illegal.
That tower looks amazing.
It does. It's their own fault.
It is. They asked for this. They should not make a tower look that beautiful and be that expensive and not accessible to everybody.
That's true.
It's on them. Let's keep this equitable.
We're teachers. Don't you care about educators?
Come on.
It's rude. We're never going to afford that tower. Are you kidding me?
We had to start a damn podcast just so we could dream about one day getting to go, River House.
Oh my gosh. I promise that after we get it, we're not just going to, call it wraps.
That's right. Yeah. No, we want a second crab dinner.
Yeah. I'm sure it's good enough for one more.
Yeah. We'll keep on going with those dreams. Okay. So yeah, my week was great because Derby.
Yeah. That's my favorite day of the whole year.
Yeah.
So.
And I even looked back on last year's time hop and I was like, even last year, even though it was canceled, we watched reruns. What are they called? Former Derby races. And my time hop said, I've got my winners already picked out. But no, at Derby in Kentucky. Yeah, way better this year. Derby in Kentucky is just magical. There's no better day of the year.
Yeah. And it's a big, it leads up to it. There's 2 whole weeks that are just jam-packed with fun stuff. Yeah. A little different this year, but still awesome.
It's still amazing. Yeah. So good week. And I just said it again. Realized during our Patreon, started to go back to that, but we also realized there's a second drinking game in this. Every time Aaron and I say, yeah.
Did you notice that because I said it 14 times?
So did I just now. I noticed myself saying it. I always noticed. I didn't notice it until the last episode when you were editing. I was like, oh my gosh, we say so much. So you know what? I'm not going to fight it because apparently that's just how we talk. But you guys could turn it into some little fun action on your end and drink every time you hear us say lovely or yeah.
Right, but you should probably drink not a shot or something because you won't make it.
Sip, just a sip, and water wedges are our friends. I told that to Erin as I poured myself a big tall glass of water. I noticed she still didn't have hers, but I am the responsible one.
I'm on my first glass of wine.
I'm just getting my wedge ready. It's good to be responsible and safe.
I don't want to be hungover tomorrow. That is for sure. That's so fun.
Yes, that's our new goal is to be coherent and remember the end of the entire episodes and not feel like death the next day.
Right.
Those are good goals.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
I said again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, I say we get to it because last week we talked so much, so let's go for it.
Okay,
so we started looking at our stories, and guys, we're telling you, it's time to send these in. Mm-hmm. We really need them. But we have our reliable
little fan base. I don't know, the ones we can always count on.
Yeah, we have had multiple stories from a few of these people. And so we're going to read all
Patreons.
Yes, they're all Patreons. They happen to be Patreons. Mm-hmm. So it's a little Patreon tribute to you guys. And we've heard some of their stories before, but this is a new one for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to read a story from Paula.
Yay, Paula. And it was so fun to get to meet her. Like, don't you feel like you really met her?
I really do.
I know. I was like, I've got, we even heard her meet cute from her and her husband. I think husband.
I don't know. She didn't.
They've been together for a long time. So I'm not sure husband or
partner of some sort.
Yes. So that was, we all shared our meet cues. I was like, this is so fun. Just sitting around happy hour with girlfriends. And
did you say meet cute or meet cute?
Which one is it? Whichever one it was, I said it.
It's meet cute.
I said meet cute. I probably said meet cute.
Just checking.
I mean, it makes more sense. Meet cute, cute in a movie, and they meet.
No, it's a cute way that the couple met.
Okay, well, then say that.
That's too long. That's why it's called a meet cute.
Listen, Aaron.
Okay,
I knew what it meant.
Okay,
that's all that matters.
All right, moot point. Moo point. All right, here we go. Okay, so howdy, Megan and Aaron. I first want to clarify a little bit about that shoe story from a long time ago that we read.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That story happened a long time before I was really into ghostly things.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go into the place looking for that to happen. It was super freaky. Mm. Anyway, moving right
She's
along.
Probably saying that because I always say if you're looking for something to happen.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm like, she's going to clarify. I like it.
Yep, there you go.
Anyway, my next work story comes from the office that I used to work in. The building is next to a marshy area and right along an area that used to be a cattle driving trail that went from Denver south towards Oklahoma.
That sounds amazing.
I know. Apparently, because of the water present, there were several Native American encampments along this area too.
I don't know why. I never really thought of Colorado as having marshes.
Yeah, I don't know much about Colorado.
Other than I want to go and they got good weed. I know those two things happen
okay.
in Colorado. And not necessarily because of that, I want to go, but it won't hurt.
It's not holding me back.
It's not going to hold me back.
We could never figure out what was really happening, but we had several weird things happen. Some we decided had to be mice since they would come in during the winter every year. So that was fun. But some not so much. Of course, it was a cube farm and we could see all the way across our area. Every once in a while, several of us would hear knocking on our cube walls. Not just the ones on the ends, knocking on the center walls between our cubes. Okay, so is that, I think what she's saying is like in her office, there were also cubicles and they could hear. Okay, knocking on connecting walls when no one was sitting next to you. Our manager had her desk along the wall of the building. Many of us would routinely hear papers shuffling on her desk, early in the morning or late in the evening. Melanie was not there, but it sounded like she was working away. That's weird. The weirdest thing happened early on Saturday morning. I got there super early since it was a mandatory Saturday and I had plans. So 5:30-ish in, so I'd be done by 9. I was the first one in the office and left the lights off and went to the desk. We had huge windows, so there really wasn't any need for the lights. I sat up the breakfast I had picked up for everyone. I want to work with Paula. And was getting all my computer systems up when I heard a weird noise. It was a whoosh whoosh noise. I couldn't figure out what it was. I sat down to start working and something knocked on my cube. I got up to investigate, and when I turned around, the chair at one of the desks about 4 rows away was twirling around and around on its own. That's creepy. I stood there dumbfounded for a few seconds and then ran over and turned on all the lights in the entire building. There was no one else there. We had electronic locks, and my car was the only one in the parking lot. At this time, I was watching some of the ghost shows and said out loud, "Please, just leave me alone. I have to work." About 5 minutes later, the next person showed up, and I told her what had happened. We went over to the desk and looked around. There was absolutely nothing that should have made the desk spin around like that. I never went in that early ever again, especially alone. I've attached an article about the haunted 7-Eleven that is nearby where I work as well. And this is cute, so I am going to read it. I was like, oh, I'm not going to read that. That'll be long. But I read it. It was not. So it says, the Colorado convenience store may look normal, but something incredibly strange is going on inside.
Something strange in the neighborhood.
Okay, here's their catching line. What's that called? Their
catchphrase.
Their hook. 7-Eleven, home of cheap gas, sweet Slurpees, and terrifying demons.
I love it. I'll take all 3 of those things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For under $3, right? Oh,
yeah.
Gas, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then in just one little tiny paragraph, it says, it may look innocent on the outside, but legend has it that the iconic convenience store, was built on an old Indian reservation, causing some spooky and unexplainable occurrences. For example, every evening between midnight and 3 a.m., things randomly fall off shelves, strange noises can be heard, and glowing red eyes can be seen from the back of a cooler.
Oh my gosh, it's the Coors Light sign. On a beer. That'd be funny. It's like the 2 O's of the Coors Light.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Looks like red eyes.
Right?
That was some quick debunking. Did you hear that?
Oh, you're on it tonight.
I got that.
That's what happens when we don't pregame.
Right.
And then in parentheses it says, remind me to never visit this 7-Eleven at night.
Oh, not me. Let's go. When we go to visit Paula, we're totally going to that 7-Eleven for some Slurpees and some demon watching.
And some terrifying demons.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that article.
I know.
That's great. That was it?
That's it. It was a little shorty.
So I've got a theory.
Okay.
Squirrels.
Okay.
I don't know why. What movie is when they say squirrels?
No, that was from Big Brother one season. Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Oh no, that's also from a 4-H camp story of little girl said, and all my loyal subjects will be squirrels.
I knew it. I was like, I don't know why I want to say it like that, but
this was one of my campers when I was a
kid.
And so all my loyal subjects will be squirrels.
Did she have rural subjects?
She was talking about some dream she had or something she wanted to do when she grew up.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm thinking squirrels. Like,
okay.
So here's why my mind went there.
Okay.
Maybe because she said mouse, but I'm like, well, they sound louder than mice. So
Yeah.
a little bit bigger.
Right.
Something, a bigger rodent than a mouse. For especially the knocking, because squirrels, they talk by knocking their tails. Did you know that? Like they communicate with each other.
No, I didn't.
They tap their tails on certain things.
They tap like that tail.
They tap that tail. Yes. I mean, when they want to tap a tail, they tap.
All right. Tail. I'm not squirrel sex shaming. It's fine.
No, squirrels are allowed to have sex. They're fine. You're a little weird if you like to watch it, but whatever.
I never went there.
Well, I mean, it just went in my mind. Like, I don't know. But anyway, power lines, you can see them up there and they'll tap their tails. That's like a mating call. Oh. So I think you get some squirrel trying to get busy up in your office, but also that spinning chair, like the shuffling and the whoosh whoosh, like getting it going, starting it or whatever. Because haven't you ever seen a squirrel when they like jump on something and it starts going?
Yeah, I have seen that. But wouldn't you see evidence of like a squirrel being inside your office?
I mean, not if it was like a crafty squirrel that doesn't want to get caught. I mean, those things are like they get in, they get out. They're looking for food. They don't want to get caught.
When I think of a cubicle, I think of the movie The Office or Office Space.
Okay.
And they've got those thin little, I mean, I worked in an office with cubicles. They're not like something.
Yeah, but I still think they could be underneath, somehow underground.
Underground tapping?
Knocking. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And like underneath that certain part of the cubicle. So you think that it's like, you're not thinking underground. So you hear the sound and you're thinking, must be underground. Or must be this knocking on the cubicle. I'm thinking some sort of rodent, maybe not a squirrel. I don't know what kind of.
That's one of
rodents are
your
prevalent.
Most believable debunks.
Thank you.
I'm kind of on board with it.
Brought my A game tonight. Thank you. I was, I'm trying.
I still feel like with that many people in the office, they would have more evidence. Yeah, they would see something. Maybe. What about the shuffling papers? And they look in and nobody's there. That squirrel's like,
I'm picturing a little squirrel like, oh my gosh, get out of here! Like. They're coming.
I feel like your squirrel is like Ratatouille's rat smart.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't my squirrel be like that?
Well, yeah. And speaks English.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess he didn't speak English. I don't remember
French? I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't actually speak. Okay. He just they communicate with their. This is dumb that I'm explaining Ratatouille, but he doesn't actually speak. It's so weird how you don't watch.
I don't watch kids movies. Fun fact about me: hate them.
Nobody was like, yay.
Even did when I was a kid, though. I didn't like cartoons. Never liked cartoons, except for Ren and Stimpy. That shit was funny.
Oh, that is funny.
Right. Yeah, because it was gross and like right up my alley of like, gross. I shouldn't be watching this, and it's hilarious.
Right. Everyone loves a log. Okay.
That's hilarious. That was like a time warp. Okay, so yeah, I'm going with squirrel for that last one, which, we always say there's coincidences.
Is there a squirrel in this story?
Actually, it's the opposite of a tiny rodent. It might be something large and hairy and scary.
Ooh, like what are those things from Princess Bride?
Oh, no, but I watched that the other day. I got so excited when you said that because I could picture it right away because I made Miles watch it.
Yeah.
And I got so excited that he liked it because I made James watch it when we first started dating.
Yeah.
And I guess he didn't think it was supposed to be funny. He thought it was going to be really like dramatic or I don't know what. Right. But he didn't get any of it. And halfway he's like, "This is dumb." I'm like, "Oh, this is a like you."
Yeah, Kevin hates it too.
Didn't even know if I could continue dating him, but
I
did. I mean, I stuck it out because by that point I was knocked up. So what are you gonna do? So
yeah, Kevin hates it too. I think they're just called like the land of extraordinarily large rodents or something.
Yeah,
it's like a really simple name.
Really silly like that, but
I could be wrong. People might be yelling.
Even better. This might be a little bipedal, if you will.
Oh, nice.
But still, my point is animal based.
Okay.
Right. So that's kind of it's a stretch. For
it is a stretch since it was probably a ghost for Paul.
Yeah. But okay. So I was a little sleepy earlier, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Derby weekend. It took it out of me for sure.
Yeah, I was exhausted.
Yeah, I was very exhausted. Hosting, I haven't hosted really in a long time, and so that was fun, but still exhausting. And so I'm like, man, I just don't know if I got it in me tonight. And then I read her story, and I was like, brought me back to life.
Oh, yay! I can't wait.
I am really excited for this, and this is a fan favorite. She's been a fan favorite before. She's also made our cryptid and coffee mugs, and She's just awesome. And she's
and our t-shirts.
And her t-shirts. Yeah, she's great. So this is Stephanie, and here we go. She says, "Hi, friends. I have a beastly story from my childhood. I grew up way out in the hills of eastern Kentucky. It wasn't rare for my siblings and I to disappear into the thick woods surrounding our home for hours. These excursions were usually fairly uneventful and totally delightful." I love that.
Yeah.
"We saw deer, countless rabbits, foxes." I'm like, those are uneventful excursions? Give me those excursions. Oh, as a kid, I would have eaten that up. I can remember trying to go out in the woods around our house and never saw anything but a squirrel.
I see stuff like that in Cherokee Park sometimes when I drive through.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Deer, I've seen a
but
fox.
Not like in the eastern Kentucky hills.
Yeah,
could you imagine? Oh, I'm jealous. Okay. "We saw deer, countless rabbits, foxes, even the occasional black bear. We stuck to a hunting trail forged by my grandfather and uncles many years before and always felt safe as we explored. Well, almost always. One day, 2 of my cousins and I were traipsing through the woods, talking and giggling about normal 10-year-old girl things, when we reached a part of the forest that spat us out into a clearing at the top of a ridge. We'd planned to cross the clearing and spend some time looking for turtles among cattails around a small pond. That's what 10-year-olds should be doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because like when I first read this, I was like, oh, that'd be so funny to hear what their little 10-year-old selves were talking about. Right. And then I just pictured all of our 10-year-old nieces around that. And I'm like, they're all like on their cell phones. My daughter. Well, my niece, your daughter, on their cell phones around that bonfire. Then I was like, come on, get out there and go find a turtle, you 10-year-old. Okay. Anyway, we made, if she's listening, she's like, I'm 11.
She's 12.
Oh my gosh. In my mind, she'll always be 5.
And today she was so nice to me all day.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll be a lot nicer to turn this. I'm so proud of her for being on that iPhone all night. It taught her kindness. Somehow. That's what she was. Ways to be nice to my mom. That's what she was Googling. Okay. We made it about halfway across the clearing when a sudden sound caused us all to stop short and fall absolutely silent. It was an enormous roar that sounded like it came from everywhere at once, and it was impossible to trace its origin. It almost sounded like a plane was taking off right there in the clearing. It was so loud.
Oh my God.
It was followed by a few loud breaths, again, which seemed as though they came from all directions at once.
No.
Doesn't that sound like a sci-fi movie? Yes. Like the start of a sci-fi movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My cousins and I glanced at each other, eyes wide with terror, for about 3 seconds before we ran for our short little lives back in the direction we'd just come from. We wanted the safety of the trail and the cover of the trees, and also to get back to my house as quickly as possible. I've never run so fast or so far in my entire life, and I'm proud to say that not once did any of us trip like some stereotype in a horror movie. I'm not so proud to say that we were all full on snot flowing, sobbing the entire way back. I bet. That's terrifying. We told all the grown-ups back home what had happened, and they suggested it was a bobcat. Nope. I am very familiar with their screechy scream sounds. That reminds me of Meg's story, that screeching bobcat. That
right.
Yeah.
That sounded like a woman screaming, not like a deep roar.
Yeah, not like, yeah. Or a bear, possible, but still didn't really sound like any bear sound I'd ever heard before or since. Weeks later, my sisters and I were under-supervised and doing foolish kid things, which that evening included climbing to the rafters. Okay, this part's so cool. Climbing to the rafters of the partially constructed house my mom had begun to build.
Yes.
That's right. I love these badass moms and these stories. Like, yes, you build that house, Stephanie's mom. We were basking in how cool and brave we were when my oldest sister suddenly hushed us urgently and motioned for us to listen. Again, that's so scary. It's like, what do you hear? I can't hear it. What do you hear?
Right.
Oof. And I say again, because in our last podcast, we talked about that. Sometimes I do that because I go back to last week's and I'm like, anybody who's just listening to this episode thinks I'm crazy.
Again, what did I miss?
Again, that woman's making stuff up in her brain. Okay. We were basking in how cool and brave we were when my oldest sister suddenly hushed us urgently and motioned for us to listen. It only took a moment for us to hear what had startled her, a heavy, loud breathing and a rustling coming from a clump of trees about 100 yards away.
Oh, no.
I know. My sister mouthed, "Bear," at us, and we shrank back quietly, watching and waiting and trying to remain out of sight to whatever was making the sound. I was keenly aware of the impressive climbing abilities of black bears in that moment, but trying to remind myself that they're also pretty skittish unless cornered or protecting babies. After what seemed like years, we finally saw a huge figure emerge from the clump of trees and begin to make its way up the hill toward the forest where we so often played. Now, at this point, what are you thinking? Squatch. You're thinking Squatch, right? So was I. That's what my mom was going to.
Okay.
I never heard of this.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay, maybe.
Now, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with this fact. Human memory is a strange, elastic, untrustworthy thing. I love Stephanie. She is like my skeptic soulmate. But as I recall, and my sisters have confirmed, while we could not make out any distinct features of the figure, it was much bigger than any black bear we had ever seen. The only lights out there were from the stars and moon. It was like watching a very tall, inky shadow move over the already dark ground.
What?
I know. Sometimes it seemed like it was walking upright, but moments later, it would appear to crawl on all fours as it climbed the hill. We tried to be as small and silent as possible while we waited for it to disappear into the woods that had been like a playground to us. We waited several minutes after it was gone, afraid it was watching us, before we hurriedly shimmied down from the rafters and dashed to safety. It wasn't until months later that I read a story about the hillbilly beast of Kentucky.
Oh.
Have you heard of this?
Only from trying to find cryptids from Kentucky.
But
I haven't read too far into it because it took me to a weird article that I was suddenly in Scotland. I was like, that's not where I was looking. So I never found much information.
Well, I'm telling you, Stephanie is, she is like the fountain of cryptid knowledge.
Right. And Kentucky knowledge.
Yes. She's the one that sent us all that about the Pope monster. Yeah. Just Kentucky in general. She is a librarian.
Yeah. Which is every librarian I've ever met is like,
amazing.
I don't understand their brains.
I don't either.
They hold it all in.
Yeah. When I said she's like my skeptic soulmate, like she's like my skeptic soulmate, as in she's way smarter than I am. I believed a lot like she does, but I'm like, man, I wish I could be as smart as her. Okay. I'm as smart. I'm just not maybe as
articulate,
literate. As articulate as she is. Yes. I could never convince myself that we'd seen and heard a bear, but I was certain that the animal who'd roared at my cousins and I was the same creature my sisters and I had seen. When I heard about the hillbilly beast, a large, dark-furred bipedal cryptid that stalked the mountains of eastern Kentucky since time immemorial. And I did look it up. That is what it says. Immemorial. And it means from way long ago. Like from
We're not reading Stephanie's stories anymore.
I know. It's always because she's so smart. I was sure I had my culprit. You may be wondering if I ever went back into those woods. The answer is a resounding yes.
Yes,
of course. But I love this. Now, armed with research. And then in parentheses, she said, haha, I was a baby librarian and didn't even know it. Which I'm like, I wonder if that's what kind of made her a librarian.
Right.
Like, those little experiences of like, I want to know more about this. That desire to learn more maybe kind of was the foundation for why you are a librarian.
Right.
And fancying myself some sort of Harriet the Spy / Sherlock Holmes hybrid, I spent months trying to find proof we'd found the beast. What did I find? Zilch, of course. We never heard that roar or the breathing or saw any shadowy, unrecognizable creatures again. That's because he saw you at that book. He's like, oh shit, she's on me. It's been 27 years and I don't have a solid explanation, but despite being a pretty skeptical person, I still don't think that we saw or heard a bear. I know it's not a ghost story, but I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we did.
Oh, we love all.
Anything paranormal, UFOs, cryptids. We're down for all that.
Absolutely.
Keep up the good work. I look forward to listening so much that I sometimes make myself wait a day or two to listen just so I don't have to wait so long for the next one. I know. That is so sweet.
So sweet.
Stephanie, she, her. I loved it. Oh, loved it. Yeah. So I'm wondering if like hillbilly beast is like either the cousin of the Sasquatch or is that just what people from Eastern Kentucky call the Sasquatch? Yeah. I don't know.
I'm telling you, I didn't find much when I looked, but I need
Stephanie
to gear me towards.
Yeah, because technically it is Erin's turn to come up with the cryptids.
It is. I would love the help, Stephanie.
Yeah, so send it her way. Or you know what? I think she just did our episode for us. No, but yeah, I think I'd love to hear about more sightings and all that stuff with the cryptid or with the hillbilly beast.
It's been around immemorial.
A new word.
Forever.
I know she teaches us so many words. Yes, forever. For a long time in the past is what the little definition I read said. But yeah, so I am on board.
Yeah, there's nothing to debunk for you.
I don't think so. I know she kind of made my night easy. If she had gone ghost or spirit or demon, I would have been like, I think hillbilly beast is what you're looking for.
Right. Let me just educate you real quick.
Yeah, but she didn't, so I don't have to debunk it. But boy, wouldn't you just love to go up into those hills?
In theory, yes.
Oh, I'd love it.
Oh, it'd be so scary.
It made me picture like that when she talked about going into that clearing, because I used to be on camp staff too, and I remember we went for our trainings every year at Lake Cumberland to train, for a week, and it was a blast. I mean, it was just like a party all week long with fun, So if you ever want to do anything fun with your summers, and you like kids, and you it's kind of like real world, that real world where you get 8 strangers together, but you just have so much fun. And but anyway,
of course we've both also been on camp staff, just not the same year.
Not together, but of course, we do follow in each other's footsteps often. But anyway, we went to this training, and there was this huge field, and we played capture the flag, where you had 2 teams. And it was so well lit. Like, that's what I just blew my mind. Because like she said, the only thing out there were moon and stars. And you don't get that here in the city.
Right.
It's well lit because of all of the artificial lighting,
Right.
And it was so bright. And so we're like, how are we going to do this? So we literally, I was covered in chiggers and ticks and everything by the end of it, because we army crawled like through this thick grass all the way. We were committed.
Sounds like it.
But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was great. But I do remember like that spooky feeling of like being out in these woods, whatever. But I ate it up. I loved every second of it. So I love that story. It flashed me right back there.
Yeah.
Man, camp is so fun.
I know.
It makes me miss it for sure. So let's go back to camp.
Okay.
I'll leave all of our kids at home, and just you and I go be adult leaders.
Yeah, my 2 big girls are going this year.
Oh, well, then let's pick a different camp and go.
Oh, okay. I don't think they let you bring wine.
Oh, no, never mind. How do the adult leaders have any fun? Well, yeah, so that's hillbilly. Anybody that's out there listening, I feel like I did wrangle in a few more Kentucky listeners.
Yeah.
Because I've been out there hustling for our live gig, because we want to get good local. So this is also works right into me. I planned on saying this at some point, and I forgot. For our live podcast, we would love to do local Oldham County stories, because we're actually going to be in Oldham County.
Right.
So that would be a lot of fun. But
or Louisville,
Oldham County, Louisville. Third best to that would be Kentucky. Just anywhere in Kentucky stories.
Right.
So I've joined, here I go again on that Facebook, but I've kind of gotten more hits this time than I did on some of those giant paranormal sites,
Right.
So we already got a couple, one from Oldham County, one just as Kentucky, but we're hanging on to those, and we're going to see if they'll be a good match for our live episode,
which is on June 17th.
June 17th. If you are from Oldham County and you have a story that you haven't sent in yet, please send that to myskepticalsister@gmail.com. But also, if you're just from Kentucky and you're like, well, I'm not there, but they might want this one.
Yeah.
Please send it in. If nothing else, we'll read it on this podcast for sure, but we might hold on to it for our live podcast.
And we're going to record that.
Yes, that will still get aired.
Right. So you'll get to hear your story, even if you're not from right here.
Right. With all the heckling from the audience.
Oh, no. Don't heckle us.
I'm trying not to scare you.
Gosh, you're not doing a great job.
I know. Sometimes it's just fun.
I know. So a couple more details about that. It is at Third Turn in Oldham County. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a free event with donations if you'd like to help us get that crab dinner.
Mm-hmm. But really, honestly, Jody and her husband's company that that we plugged that one time, they're going to sponsor us. Really, they're going to help us out, and
right.
So we would like to donate a little bit towards them that night. So please, anything you can, but if you can't, that's okay.
Right.
No
Just
judgment. I've gone to plenty of events in my life where I'm like, oh crap, I didn't even know it was donation and I didn't bring money. I'm not judging. Do not feel bad.
It's going to be there, but we'll be fine either way.
It's more just about getting together and having fun. Now you do have to buy your own beer and your own food.
Yeah, we're not buying that.
Come on now. We want you all to help us get dinner, not the other way around.
Right. So it's that third turn and it's going to be so much fun. I am very nervous about it, but I think it'll be great.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be fabulous. We'll have a lovely night.
Drink.
We're
going to have our stickers for sale there. So if you have been wanting a sticker, you can get one there for $4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it for the business news.
Yeah, I think so too. So thank you for that nice segue, Stephanie. And thank you for the great story.
Yeah.
Both our Patreons just killed it with their stories tonight.
Absolutely. Love it. We love them. Okay, so let's talk about your fan favorite.
So my fan favorite this week is the lovely Cassie. Again, Cassie. I left off her last name. But Cassie is just somebody that, and I don't really know how she heard of us or where she heard of us, but almost from the beginning, she's just been, she hasn't reached out to either one of us directly, but I've just noticed her and you've noticed her on Facebook, always supportive, always liking everything we put up there. And then I have found, like, when I'm out kind of hustling for other stuff and other groups, she'll hop on like she's already been on there promoting us.
Wow. That's awesome.
So I think that's really cool. And I'm like, man, that's the whole point of this, is that I think that we owe our fans a whole lot because, we did not think that we were even going to get fans to begin with. And then they are doing a lot of the legwork for us. So when I see that, I'm like, man, that is so nice. Because if I had stumbled upon that, I would have never known that Cassie was out there promoting us. So to see that is humbling, and it's opposite of humbling. Remember, you hate when people say that.
Yeah, it's
an ego booster.
It's an honor.
It is an honor. It's not an ego boost. It really is just like heartwarming.
Right.
That's what it is. It's heartwarming. It's like, oh, Cassie, wow, thank you so much for and other people. I've seen a couple other people doing it too.
Right. I told you about that neighborhood app where
that was Cassie.
Cassie had also said something on there. I was like, oh my gosh, I know who Cassie is.
Yeah,
one of our listeners.
Cool. So I kind of feel like in a way that we know her, and she talked in one of those hustles, or maybe even on our page or something, she talked about how she just loves, she's an artist, and I'll talk about her artwork in just a second, but she's an artist, a local artist in Kentucky, and she talks about how when she's working in her gallery, she'll put us on. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, an artist is listening to us. Maybe
are we your muses?
Oh yeah. Are we like getting her? Now that's an ego booster. No, but we're like getting her spooky vibes into her.
What if there's like one day a painting of us like cherubs?
Us like Sasquatches.
Oh, I would commission that
with our little faces on Sasquatches. Oh, it's hilarious. And her art is amazing, at least what little I've seen from her Facebook page. So
awesome.
I am a little bit bummed because she didn't get back to me in time for tonight's recording. Of course, I didn't really tell her we were recording tonight, but this is what she says. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Because I just told her, we'd love to promote anything that you have because you've been working hard to promote us, and we really appreciate that. She said, thank you. I'll send a longer response containing some information about the House of Blue Gallery, and it's BLEU. Very artistic.
Yeah. I wonder if they blow glass.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. The artwork that I saw, it looked like paintings.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. And she's the resident artist, but she totally could. Like I said, I'm not Facebook friends with her, so I'm not sure what all she's done. I would love for her to write back in. And I know she is on our Facebook page. So hopefully she will show us some of her art and where we can buy it, where we can go look at it. If she clearly has a gallery somewhere, I hope.
And we'll put all this in the show notes because it doesn't come out till Thursday.
Yes, definitely. And she says, and she's the resident artist and my favorite charity. And then she put in parentheses me. So we'll find out what that charity is and promote that as well. And then she goes on to be so sweet. She says, I'm really serious when I say, since finding your podcast a month ago, I have listened over and over. It's so great to have you and Aaron talking and laughing in my studio. Aww. Also, who doesn't love a good ghost story?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So we love that. And thank you so much, Cassie. It means the world to us how much you go out there and promote for us. But really just that you listen to us and that you're such a good fan and loyal fan. And she at one point in another little blurb out there. She said something about just loving how positive we are. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we were being positive. A lot of times I feel like
we bicker a lot.
We're catty with each other. I mean, we do also. And I called you hot not too long ago. I was like, look at that TikTok video looking hot. So,
I know. Thank you. And then you posted that picture where we both look so good.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say, you could throw that hot top back to me sometime.
You gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Girl. So anyway.
I think it's my favorite picture of you and me.
I know, me too. It really is.
Good one.
Yeah, I love it. So, but I love Cassie more. So we love you even more than our picture of us.
Yes, Cassie, thank you so much.
Ourselves.
I know, sorry.
No.
You built our ego up. Come on.
Did, and now you expect to get back to humble? No, we're kidding, Cassie. Thanks so much. And to be the fan favorite, especially if you're new and you're like, well, what is this fan favorite stuff? Again, really, it's just we kind of, Aaron and I would just go back like, well, who's going to be your fan favorite? I'll let you know, because we just have somebody in our mind, and it can be anything from a really nice review that somebody wrote to, again, catching you promoting us, or just somebody that we notice their presence, either in a positive way, or,
or what, in a negative way?
No. If you're that one lady about the editing.
No, stop it. Stop.
Okay, I'm gonna drink my water, bitch,
because I cut all that out last time.
I noticed that that night you're like, I'm not cutting this out.
Oh, well, I was drunk.
Totally, I know you were.
No, somebody made a little comment like, it's good, but the editing needs work. And they were not wrong. And it got better after that. So it's fine.
It did. They prompted us to dig a little deeper.
By us.
Become a little bit better. Yes. They prompted Aaron to, I help out sometimes. But, just by listening.
Oh, I couldn't do it without you. You're listening.
Okay, I'm like, hello. Remember that whole
I could not do it without your
each other.
After I've edited, I don't ever want to listen to it again, and I need somebody else to listen to make sure it's still seamless.
And that would be me.
Yes,
that's when I discovered, boy, we say a lot, and then after time I might go so yeah, and lovely.
Oh
Drink.
My gosh! Oh, don't sue us. Don't drive anywhere,
and don't work the next day.
Yeah, there you go.
And by drink, I mean your water or your coffee. It doesn't have to be liquor.
We're not
promoting alcohol. Go. Oh, that was a weird honk. We had all of our bases covered. We made sure the dishwashers were off. Made sure.
Forgot about neighbors' cars.
Neighbors like to honk. We have the windows open.
Yep. It's hot as balls in here, so we should probably go.
It really is. Okay, well, tell the people what they got to do, Erin.
Okay, so if you want to support us on Patreon and join us in our movie nights or get a cool sticker or both, go to patreon.com and search My Skeptical Sister. If you want to support us just by rating and reviewing us, that is also a huge help. Rate, review, subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts, or subscribe on Spotify. You can also find us on Facebook. We are most present there. We've got a fan page called My Skeptical Sister, and we have a TikTok that every once in a while, this is what TikTok has turned into. I get a little drunk, and then I'm like, I'm going to make a TikTok.
Okay, do you like all my comments I make on your TikTok?
You're like, we're in a White Snake commercial. I had the fan on in my room.
If you haven't seen this TikTok, you just need to go there to see
Drunk Aaron.
Take it out. No, you're not. You are not. To go see Drunk Aaron and her TikTok videos. I'm like watching this like... I have, by the way, nothing to do with the TikTok. So while it's like my podcast, like our podcast, I have nothing to do with TikTok.
You just claim this podcast as your own.
But I mean, like I have part ownership in it.
Yes.
I have nothing to do with TikTok. So I get on there, I'm like, oh, this is what she's been up to on TikTok.
I know. I'm embarrassed by it.
Up. Yeah, she's like sitting there talking drunkenly, and the wind is blowing. I'm like, look at this bitch in a White Snake video.
God. That makes it sound like I planned the wind. I was just
sure looked like you did.
I did not. I swear I didn't. My fan is on that high right now. It always is.
It's so funny. It's like wind blowing, and she's talking to the camera. I was like, oh my gosh, she's cracking me up.
You're making
either that or like a romance novel. Oh my gosh, don't be embarrassed. It was hilarious. And then the other one, what was the other one? Oh, where it was like it did the weird side of, or like the
sparkly stuff, the little.
No, that one you're hot. That's your hot one. No, this is the one where it's like your symmetrical.
Oh yeah,
what's that called?
I want to try that because there's a little challenge going on where this lady who is the most symmetrical person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
and I was like, I want to try it.
But she's also singing. Like she's singing.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know how to add the
waiting
music.
for you to sing. Like, this is just you sitting very still. I feel like everybody would look very symmetrical when you do that.
They don't. But so I don't know how to add the music like other people do. So
so it's just her sitting really still. And it's like,
don't look at us up on TikTok.
Don't you dare take it down. If you take it down, I'm going to call you out because it is hilarious, especially if you're me. And I'm like, what is she up to on TikTok? Like, this is cracking me up. Because I'm like,
oh my gosh.
It's like it's your personal TikTok. But all of a sudden, it's my
I'm so warm right now. We got to go. I need my white snake wind.
You do. You want to go sit in your room? We'll just sit there with a fan, blows her hair.
All right. We have to end this because I'm embarrassed. So
okay.
I only get on there when I'm pretty drunk. So sorry, but whatever.
No, don't be sorry. I feel like this is it. We're going to hit it big after talking about how drunk we are.
Oh,
no,
yikes.
Not me. Her. And it's hilarious.
And you can go on to see my Trelawney look. And my little trick for curling hair.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Did
you watch
cute.
that?
Yeah, that was really cute. No, there's plenty of times I'm like, oh, she's so cute. But then I'm like, what is she doing? These are so funny. And she will not take them down. If she takes them down, she's going to get scolded by mom. I'm going to call mom and I'll tattle on you.
Our actual mom? I thought you were saying mother. Like you were going to scold me and you're calling yourself mom.
No. I'm calling mom and like, mom, I talked about this on our podcast and then she took it down.
Fine. They're up. Trouble. They're up. They're embarrassing. They're there.
They're great. They're going to stay forever. So you all can go watch them.
All right. Well, do all that and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace out. How'd you like that?
I love it.
La 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 la.
Of course, it was a cube farm. Cube farm? Is that right?
Cube. A meat cube farm? A meat cube.
I'm going to
spell it.
Cube. C-U-B-E.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it was a... Okay.
And like a typo?
Yeah.
Well, or very likely just something we don't know.
That's true. Of course, it was a cube farm, and we could see all the way across our area.
In the shape of a cube. That was on you.
Shut up. We're going to read it again. I might put that in bloopers. We'll see.
You better. You don't just put my bad shit in the bloopers. You got to put yours in there, too.
Fine. What rolls downstairs alone or in pairs and over your neighbor's dog? What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's log, log, log. It's log, it's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's log. It's better than bad, it's good. Everyone wants a log. You're gonna love it, log. Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log, 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 log.
Log.
Oh, I'm sweating. That was so great.